It is still possible, even now in 2023, with all of this inflation that we are enduring, to feed your family on a tight budget, meals that are nutritious and delicious and that they'll be excited about. I'm gonna show you what I am purchasing to feed my family of 5 for an entire week on a budget. This is not your typical beans and rice budget meals video, so let's get going. My friend Jen Chapin has been talking some about the USDA recommendations for food budgets for various household sizes, and that reminded me that I actually did a little research about this about a year ago for a video that never came to fruition, so I thought I'd circle back to it. But I'll leave some of her videos mentioning this down in the description box below if you want to check them out. The USDA gives a weekly food budget recommendation for everybody in the household based on their gender and their age, and so you can find the weekly household recommended expenditure by adding all of that up. And then for me, they also recommend subtracting 5% since I'm a household of 5, which is a larger than average household, and I guess they're assuming that the food cost goes down as you buy more of it. They also have 3 different tiers of budget recommendations: low, moderate, and high or liberal, based on how much a family wants to spend in that category. Now, to be honest, I did not even bother to look into the liberal budget recommendation or the highest budget recommendations for my family, because when I got to looking at it, it seemed really high. And I assume perhaps that is for somebody or family that needs to eat a certain way, like keto or gluten-free, or maybe they are very particular about buying everything organic or local, or maybe they eat out a lot and my family just doesn't fit into any of those categories. So when I crunched all of those numbers on the moderate budget for my family of 5, it came out to $362.14 per week. And on the low budget, $288.90. Again, that's even subtracting the 5% for living in a larger family household, because the price per unit of food would probably go down as I'm buying more of it. And that just seems like a lot, because that's per week. Now, there was another budget recommendation on a completely separate document on their website called the Thrifty Budget Meal Plan, which I guess is the government's version of Extreme Budget. And when I crunch the numbers on those recommendations for my household of 5 people, it comes out to $268 per week recommended to spend on food for my household of 5. And I don't know, but I feel like I can put together a pretty amazing family meal plan for a week for a lot less than that. So that's what we're gonna do. Not gonna do it because it wouldn't help somebody who is watching this video in the middle of July, but this giant Reese's Easter Bunny is half off. I have no idea why our favorite cereal is so much cheaper at my Walmart neighborhood market right now, but I can't pass up this deal. I just used my Walmart app to scan it and make sure that that price is correct from the price that's listed on the store shelf, and that's what it says it's priced at. So I'm gonna pick up an extra box because this is one of our favorite cereals, and that's one of the great things about having just a little bit of wiggle room in a moderate grocery budget, is you can stock up when you see a great price. Now, normally I spend anywhere from 20 to 30% of my overall budget on produce, fresh, frozen, or canned. We're kind of between seasons right now. It's sort of, you know, after winter, so apples, pears, and citrus, and really before melons and peaches and stuff like that are coming into season. So I just did the best I could with the fresh produce, and then I'm filling in with a little bit of frozen and canned. One thing I've been trying to doing more with these budget meal challenges and budget meal plans is to reserve a few dollars of my budget to restock some kitchen essentials. So today I picked up some eggs, and I was also out of soy sauce, so I got some of that, and I'm about to run out of garlic salt, so I'm gonna pick up those things. Maybe you don't need those things, but maybe you need to refill your flour bin, or maybe you need butter or Italian seasoning, or one of those other kitchen staples, you know, condiments, seasonings, just basic stuff that you might need to pick up in this grocery haul and include in the budget. This haul should feed my family of 5 for about a week, give or take. Starting with the produce over here, I've got oranges, apples, red potatoes, 3 bell peppers, 6 ears of fresh corn, some grapes, some asparagus, some romaine hearts, some bananas, some Roma tomatoes, 1 yellow onion, 1 red onion, a pound of baby carrots, 1 lime, some frozen green beans, 2 English cucumbers, and unfortunately some parsley. I say unfortunately because I meant to pick up cilantro, so I may have to go back and get cilantro. I've already talked about the soy sauce and the garlic salt and the eggs over here being staples that I am replenishing. I have a gallon of milk, some pretzels, and some tortilla chips, And then my really awesome deal cereal here, plus a little flavored oatmeal for another breakfast option. I've got some fudge stripe cookies and some marshmallows because we plan to spend some time outdoors and light a fire in the chimney. And if we're lighting a fire in the chimney on a pretty spring evening, we might as well have s'mores. And this is a fantastic s'mores shortcut. Have some muffin mix here, a couple of packages of applesauce, some peanut butter and crackers. Not a lot going on in the canned goods this time. I got some chickpeas and some tomato paste, some diced tomatoes, and some basically Rotel, the great value brand of diced tomatoes and green chilies. We have kids and kids at heart in this house, so picked up a few boxes of Kraft mac and cheese as a lunch option, plus a pound of rotini and a pound of spaghetti, some frozen meals, just I don't know, for good measure. And we're gonna have a lot of fun with these white bread Rhodes white bread dough thingies. Sorry, I can't speak. 5 loaves of bread dough. So you'll see what we're gonna do with those, and I'll tell you what you can do instead if you don't wanna take the long way. 32 ounces of yogurt, Greek yogurt for yogurt parfaits for breakfast and lunch. Yummy. I have a pound of sharp cheddar, a pound of mozzarella, and also some turkey breast here for sandwiches. And then I noticed over in the deli section, they had some things from their deli cut up and packaged and reduced. So I have some pepperonis here and some sliced cheese, which will be great for little build your own Lunchables, plus some pepperonis here that we're gonna use for dinner this week, and some sliced cheese also for sandwiches. Almost forgot, I did pick up my family's favorite ranch dressing, one of the only dressings that I actually buy instead of make. It's the Lighthouse Homestyle Ranch. And then I have a big package of smoked sausage right here. This is 42 ounces. This is gonna be for a few different meals, plus some shrimp. You can probably guess what one of the meals is gonna be. My son has been requesting this for weeks, so we're gonna make it. And then 3 pounds of ground beef. I spent $145.72 on this grocery haul, plus I had to pay about 12 bucks in tax because Oklahoma, we're in the minority. We're one of those states that taxes food. Hopefully your state doesn't, but here we do. It is what it is. But 145 bucks for a grocery haul that's gonna feed my family for a week with very little additional from my household is still well under the USDA recommended thrifty budget for my household of 5 people, which was around 270 bucks or so. I think that's pretty good. The average monthly SNAP benefit allowance for a household of my size is $818. And I know that that's the average. So some people get more and some people get less. But when you take that monthly average and you multiply it by 12 and then divide it by 52 weeks, it comes out to a little less than $190. So this grocery haul that I'm using for this budget plan is still even less than that, and we're gonna be able to do some amazing meals with this. This video is sponsored by Rada Cutlery, and I was so excited when they reached out to me a few months back and said they'd like to work with me again. The last time I worked with them, I got so many comments from you guys saying that you were already Rada Cutlery fans, that you had lots of their products, how long you'd have them, how much you enjoy using them. So when they asked if they could sponsor another video before Mother's Day for a special Mother's Day discount, I was like, yes, let's do it. Rada has been in business for almost 75 years, making high quality cutlery and cookware right here in the USA from materials that they source from the USA. I have the original starter set, which first off includes this fantastic chef's knife. You've seen me use this time and time again in lots of videos. It's a great utility knife, especially for chopping just about anything. It includes a regular paring knife and a super parer. These get used almost every single day in my household, especially on fruit. A really great peeler and tomato slicer, plus a large sharp slicing knife and a serrated bread knife. It's really important to have a serrated knife when you are working with bread products so you don't tear them up trying to slice them. But they actually just came out with a starter set part 2. It's right here, and we're gonna take a look at it and see what's inside. We have a large serrated knife here for slicing. They're calling this a stubby butcher knife, which is kind of fun. I am most excited about this one because it's called a cook's utility knife. So it's basically a miniature version, or it looks like a miniature version of the chef's knife or the cook's knife, which will be really great and convenient if you don't want to get out the big knife, but will have, you know, a lot of the same uses. And then this one is a utility steak knife, and this one they're calling a heavy duty knife, which I assume is like a heavy duty parer. And I love this little tiny paring knife. They call it a granny knife. It's a granny knife. I love it. And then you've got a cheese slicer. right here. Right now, you can get 10% off your next Rada Kitchen order when you visit radakitchenstore.com or the link in the description box below, and you use my discount code CMindy10. Again, that's CMindy10 for 10% off your order. These make fantastic gifts. I have given Rada Kitchen items to my family and friends several times over the past year, and we've got Mother's Day coming up. We've got Father's Day coming up. We have college graduations, you know, kids who are gonna be moving into their first homes and their first apartments. It's grilling season. I mean, this is a really practical gift idea that will get use almost every single day in just about anybody's kitchen. Be sure to flip through their catalog or scroll through their website, because in addition to cutlery, they have lots of other cookware and kitchen accessories, plus some really interesting fun food items that would make great gifts also. I put some of this bacon cheddar dip in my dad's Christmas gift along with some other items, and he liked it so much that he ordered some for himself. He ordered several more packages for his pantry. So again, take advantage of that code CMindy10 for 10% off your Rada Kitchen Store order when you visit radakitchenstore.com or the link in the description box. And thank you again to Rada for sponsoring today's video. Last night we had a dinner that my son keeps requesting. It is one of his favorites, but it hasn't been quite warm enough until the recent couple of weeks to make it, because we typically eat it outside on the patio table, and that is a shrimp boil. And it is super, super easy to do this using the slow cooker. I will leave a link in the description box to this recipe or to instructions for it, but basically you just throw some corn on the cob, some potatoes, some sliced up sausage links, smoked sausage into the crock pot with some garlic, some Old Bay seasoning, some water, a lemon. You let it cook on high for 4 to 5 hours until the corn and the potatoes are done, and then you toss in some shrimp for about 20 minutes or so. I spread this out onto our patio table covered in brown butcher table and just put like some melted butter on the table and some silverware. So not only is it something that's super easy to eat, it's really easy to clean up after as well, and everybody enjoys it. Two of the dinners I am making this week are tried and true one-pan meals that I keep making for my family. I've mentioned them a few times on this channel before. They are the one-pan cheesy smoked sausage pasta from Budget Savvy Diva and the taco spaghetti from Damn Delicious. I will leave both of those recipes linked in the description box below. I bought the ingredients for them. The only adjustments that I make are to increase the pasta from 8 ounces to 12 ounces in each recipe. And then I also add about 1 to 1.5 cups of additional liquid to make up for the added pasta that I'm using. I do this so that the recipes will produce enough servings for leftovers, because we eat our leftovers in this house, or we try to, and a lot of times we eat leftovers for lunch. My husband and I eat them for lunch, or sometimes the kids even pack them in their little thermoses and their lunch bags. But in addition to leftovers, I got plenty of options for making sandwiches or homemade Lunchables. I got lots of fruit. We have pretzels. So several different kinds of little quick lunches that the kids can throw together. I also got a couple boxes of macaroni and cheese. And I even was able to pick up a few frozen dinners that I usually add like a protein to, like something left over from a previous night, and maybe some frozen veggies or something alongside it to sort of jazz it up a little bit. You may be wondering why in the world I picked up the Rhodes bread dough, the frozen bread dough. These are not Rhodes rolls. They're actually loaves, like frozen dough loaves that you just thaw, rise, and bake. There are instructions on the back to do that. In fact, I've already done that with 2 of them so that we can have bread for sandwiches and toast this week. I'm gonna use one of the remaining dough loaf thingy-madoodles to make hamburger buns, and I'm gonna use another one when we make homemade pizzas, because when it thaws and proofs a little bit, it'll make fantastic pizza crust for homemade pizzas, which was a request by my younger daughter for dinner this week. And then the last one I'm gonna turn into cinnamon rolls. Do a little math in your head right now, or get out your little calculator or a notepad so you can carry the one, and just take a guess at how much 5 loaves of just generic store-bought bread would cost you right now. This package that has the equivalent of 5 loaves, the dough for the equivalent of 5 loaves, when I purchased it, cost me $6.27. I don't think I can buy 5 loaves of bread for less than $6 anymore. And considering the fact that I wanted to do other things besides just bread, I thought this would be a really great deal, but also save me from having to make it completely from scratch. So if you don't want to get those, or they're not available, and you still want to make this meal plan work, you probably need like some sandwich bread, some hamburger buns, something to make homemade pizzas with, and then of course, if you wanted to make the cinnamon rolls, you know, you'd have to maybe just buy some store-bought ones, but these are gonna be better. Let me show you. This is just one of those bread dough logs, and I let it thaw and rise till it had doubled. And I've just rolled it out into a rectangle, and all I'm doing now is spreading about a 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons or half a stick of butter over the top of it. And now I'm just gonna sprinkle some brown sugar and some cinnamon over the top. And then I'm going to roll it from the bottom to the top and slice the rolls. I'm gonna place them in a 9x13, and then I'm actually gonna cover it and pop it into the fridge because I don't want them to rise again until the morning. It's Thursday afternoon, and I figure I will let them slow rise in the fridge, or else I'll just get them out about an hour before I'm ready to bake them so that they can proof again and double in size, and then I'll just bake them up in a 350-degree oven, and we'll have some delicious fresh cinnamon rolls first thing on a Friday morning. I mean, what better way to wake up on a Friday morning than to the smell of fresh baked cinnamon rolls, am I right? Besides the occasional treat breakfast of cinnamon rolls, we keep things pretty simple around breakfast time around here because everybody's mostly in charge of just making their own breakfast. And so in this grocery haul, there were plenty of items that we could use for breakfast that are frequent flyers for us, things like cereal or yogurt parfaits or toast with peanut butter, and of course lots of fresh fruit that we can use in those options as well. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is because I feel like this particular budget range is kind of a void here on YouTube. I mean, we have really extreme budget meal plans, and I've made plenty of these videos myself where it's like, how low can you go? It's $5 dinners or $3 dinners, or how to eat for $1 a day, or how to eat for $20 a week or something like that. And like I said, I've made tons of those videos. I have a whole playlist of them. They're linked in the description box below. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have, you know, big restock grocery hauls. I've done a few of those myself as well, or like $1,000 Costco hauls. It seems like there aren't a lot of videos that are just kind of in the middle, you know, still a modest budget that requires some discipline and maybe a little bit of sacrifice or delayed gratification, but something that, you know, is a little bit more reasonable, probably a little bit more realistic, and a little bit more the average, you know, what the average household needs. So leave me a comment if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, kind of in the middle, something a little bit more moderate, a modest budget meal plan, maybe not quite so extreme, but still something that is definitely aware that we don't have endless funds in the bank to just spend freely at the grocery store. Tonight we are grilling hamburgers. So my husband is getting started making up the hamburger patties, and I already made some buns from one of the bread dough loaves that I purchased, and now I'm gonna make up some fresh pico from tomatoes, onions, jalapeno, which I know I forgot to pick one up, but I went ahead and just grabbed one while I was out and about. They're super cheap when I buy them by the pound. And also a little bit of lime juice and salt. And I forgot to get cilantro, but then I remembered that we have some in the garden now. So I can use some of that to make fresh pico so we can have chips and pico with our burgers and salads. And we're also going to make some s'mores from the fudge stripe cookies and the marshmallows. We do that just using our chimenea outside. It's a beautiful evening, so gonna be a really great on the grill springtime dinner. Tonight we are having homemade pizzas, and I am using the bread dough. It has been proofing in the oven, so I'm gonna divide that up into 5 pieces so everybody can just build their own pizza. I'm gonna use some tomato paste and just mix in a little water and some seasonings and stuff to make a pizza sauce. And then we've got a couple of different kinds of cheeses. We've got pepperonis. I have stuff for salads and veggies and ranch to go with that. Gonna be just a kind of a fun, make your own pizza family dinner night. Pick out one of these videos to watch next, and I'll see you there.